Hey kids, you trying to get into Segment City? Well, you really shouldn't, because Segment City is a mature podcast, and listener discretion is advised. I'm just trying to look at... I know I'm in an alleyway. I know how I look, but I got some fireworks for you kids. I got snakes and I got sparklers. That's all I got. Oh, don't give me that.
Well, this past weekend I was in New York City, the city of... the best city in the world. Oh, the rats and everybody's in there.
Big Apple.
The Big Apple.
3 a.m.
Oh, I'm walking here. That's what I was saying the whole time. Everybody appreciated me saying that, you know.
Everyone in New York is just a big Bronx rat.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
Selling
Brooklyn
pizza,
Marie.
like a real...
They're all sad like this. They're just constantly talking about that. It's because my throat is loaded with pepperoni and cheese from all the pizza.
I'm actually a 70-year-old woman, and this is what I sound like.
Wow,
that's terrible.
I'm going too far with it.
I did go... They got everything in New York. Well, they got everything.
Wow.
This should be a surprise to no one. But for dessert
Bodegas
one night, we were like looking for something to do. You're like, I don't know. We'll get some dessert somewhere. We went to a specialty rice pudding shop because that's a thing you can do in New York. We had coconut flavored rice pudding because that's a thing they sell in New York City. Man. The city of champions.
Because I feel like shredded coconut kind of is rice-like. And so that feels like rice on rice. And also the flavor profiles kind of have overlap.
It was
a little bit out of
it was delicious, first of all. It was also slightly... You couldn't think about a candle while eating it because then it would taste a little too much like a candle.
Oh, what do you know? How do you know what candle tastes like?
It tastes like a candle smells, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We also had
expectation.
We also had we got two flavors. So one was coconut and the other one was cookies and cream rice pudding, which, disrupting the industry here,
I guess. Who is this for? It seems like for the hippest grandmas in New York City. Like, who else is getting rice pudding?
I don't know. The place was called, this is free advertising for them, Rice to Riches, which is a great name.
That is a good name. I actually really like that. But yeah, of course, New York City.
They got everything.
That is so specific. Like rice pudding, for whatever reason, it's not even that uncommon of a food.
I love rice pudding.
It just feels so specific and niche.
It's for the amount of time. So I really like rice pudding, but the amount of time I spend talking about rice pudding is next to zero. Like I spend more time talking about chocolate pudding than rice pudding, and I like rice pudding way more than chocolate pudding.
I feel like everybody in my life who likes rice pudding gets a ravenous urge at some point in the year, and then it dissipates. And then I don't never hear about rice pudding ever again. You rush to the
store and you buy a whole a tub of Cozy Shack and you devour it in one sitting.
I just literally think of Cozy Shack.
Yeah, Cozy Shack.
we're just tossing out all the brand names of rice pudding.
I also had I had for the first time ever in New York, I had banana pudding ice cream. And frequent listeners of this show will know that I'm a banana pudding freak. I'm a certified banana pudding freak.
You're a freak.
I'm a certified freak. And it was delicious, and I can't believe that I haven't had it before because it's just, it's basically just frozen banana pudding. It made me wonder,
that's pretty
if you
good.
made banana pudding and you just poured that bad boy into a soft serve machine, wouldn't that just be the most decadent, beautiful thing ever? You just get this custardy, beautiful soft serve. Come on.
Don't be saying that out loud next to my brother, because he's absolutely going to fucking do that.
He will do... I got to get in contact.
He makes ice cream.
Yes, let's do it. Come on, we got a whole industry here. He makes ice cream
for everybody's birthday. It's great.
It's great. Wait, so you're saying don't say that around him? Because it seems like say that around him.
No, he's going to send him into a frenzy.
Ideas? This is TM.
No, he'll make a little bit, and then he'll eat it, and then he'll go, oh my God. And then it'll be...
It'll be Squidward when he tries the Krabby Patty for the first time.
Yeah, he made like a rum raisin with like grape nut. Like he put grape nut into a ice cream, and you would think that would taste terrible because grape nut not that great.
Right.
It softened the grape nut and made it like a nice chewy. Oh, it was nice. Oh, it was good. Now
it makes you think. It makes you think when people do things like that. Cereal is so close to dessert. It's so close that if you just slide it in there, you get a beautiful product.
It's that Venn diagram is now a circle. Yep. There's no what's Cookie Crisp? Enter the market.
Oreo O's.
Oreo O's are just
that's the dessert. You can't tell me otherwise.
Hi, can I just like get gunk in my teeth for the rest of the day, please?
Can I show up to school looking like I brushed my teeth with dirt? Cool, thanks. Yeah. I'll take that.
Can I look like a Victorian person literally brushing your teeth with charcoal?
Down in the mines, are you? Oh.
It's a lot abrasive. It's an actual... actually, you can use it as toothpaste. I have actually... there are certain toothpastes that are made with carbon stuff. Interesting stuff. But that's what you get here at Segment City. You get all the most interesting facts, and we have every single type of pudding store that you can imagine.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Only one frozen yogurt.
Huh.
That's zoning laws. That's part of the zoning laws of
And frankly,
City.
that's kind of enough frozen yogurt.
Well, my name is Will Kane, and if you tried to make me into an ice cream, then I would just be, I don't know, just some frozen asshole.
Oh, okay, that's what you're going with? All right, I'm Theo Sakakis, and my diet this weekend has been nothing but pudding, baby. Put it on the books. That's my pudding weekend. Once a year, I go to New York, and I go pudding wild.
I am designated as a meat popsicle, sir. And this is a podcast in which Theo and we talk about every single restaurant we've ever been to. Let me start TGI Fridays. No, I'm
good one. We're going to spend the next 3 episodes dissecting that statement.
Yes.
What does it truly mean to go to a TGI Fridays if you live inside a TGI Fridays?
It's like being a teacher, and everyone thinks you live at school.
That's true. I did think that they had sleeping bags in the teacher's lounge just in case.
I think I had an understanding that they left, but I did have the thought that it would be very fun if they slept in the library and how much I would want to sleep in our library.
Did you ever think as a kid that it was weird that only kids were having sleepovers?
What?
No adults out there going for sleepovers. You ever think that was weird?
No, because I don't know. There's like different kid and adult rules. Like I feel like kids are actually pretty good at like putting things into categories that are just like the harshest categories ever. Where it's like, I'm sorry, ponies are for girls. I'm not going to deal with ponies.
Sleepovers are for kids. Now, if someone invited you to a completely platonic sleepover, would you accept?
A platonic sleepover? If they specifically said a platonic sleepover, that's not going to be platonic.
Would you like to come to my platonic sleepover for the boys?
Bring your own ropes and chains.
No,
nice
platonic. Well,
but you say platonic. You just have to say a sleepover. If you specify a platonic sleepover, that's like saying,
are you
this is
me?
A not haunted mansion. This is a totally unhaunted mansion.
You're telling me that if someone invites you to a sleepover, you aren't assuming that it's a sexual nature? Because I 100% am.
If it's a, hey, here's the thing. I've been in a sexual sleepover with my girlfriend for the last few years.
I understand this well. But if somebody our age bracket was like, would you like to come to my house? I'm having some people over for a sleepover. How is that not a sexual invitation?
If it's a one-on-one, then that's a sexual invitation.
No,
if it's a group,
no. If it's a group of people, it's even more of a sexual invitation.
Why is it?
What are you saying?
Now you're starting. Now you're starting to get weird. You think somebody's like, "Hey, do you want to come over?" And if you get a little too drunk, you could sleep over. And you're like, trying to get me drunk now? Are you gonna make it easier to have the orgy?
The invitation is not if you get drunk, you can sleep over. The invitation is I'm having a sleepover with a bunch of people. Would you like to attend my sleepover?
I've been to sleepovers I've slept over people's places as an adult. The main thing is I have a car, I have a bed, I want to go home to my bed. That's the main thing that causes me not to go to sleepover.
That's besides the point. The point
you were making what? I don't know what the point is.
Sleepover is just code for orgy.
This is now we're sliding into your rules for the year, and they're going to be wild because I have no fucking clue what you're talking about right now. And this is a tangent.
I feel like we need to poll the American people. We need Family Feud style.
I genuinely have no idea. So let's get into the actual first segment, which I have a Will stupid thought, but I don't know it has a lot of meat on its bone. So I have a related Will Asks.
Okay.
The Will Super Thought, I wonder if there's a statistic similar to that one about there being more alive people today than people who have ever lived, which I looked up, and that's fake.
That's fake.
Like, there's been way more billions of people than are currently on the planet. But for products and services and like companies, is there more products and companies than there's ever been in history? And I don't think so, but I think there's definitely more. There's way more company and individual products. Because if you think of just like the analogy of like TV stations, of like there was 3. You had 3 stations, and then cable came in, and then there's a bunch, and then it kept on growing and growing. And I feel like the barrier of entry is very easy now than it's ever been.
It's interesting because the question of humans have existed for time immemorial. Well, in human history. As far back as human history goes, there have been humans. Duh. It's a statement of nothing. But, like, for tens or hundreds of thousands of years, there were no products. There was just hunting and gathering. That was all there was.
And then we did get to Mesopotamia and stuff. And I know there's like professions, because there was something about a joke about, there's a ancient joke that nobody can decipher anymore because it was like a reference of that culture.
Right.
And they're like talked about a dog going into a bar. Like, so there's obviously like bar people. So that's a business. About like that's a company.
Maybe 10,000 years worth of like companies. I mean, companies are also a sort of a modern
creation.
Right. Like
we could. It goes by different names because really the idea is just a group of people who are all in the same organization and are all pushing towards a similar goal. So
it definitely seems like you imagine how many businesses there are in the world today. There are so many that there's got to be like, on the order of tens to hundreds of millions of businesses that seems like so many in the scheme of human history. Like if you added up all the businesses there were in the world in like the year 1900, there couldn't have been that many.
No, it was like British or East Indian Trade Company. It was like, that was it. It's like, that was one of the 3 channels.
Do you count like somebody who runs a shop? That's a business, right? That's obviously a business.
Yeah, I would count that as a business. And I do. Let's get into my Will Ask too, because I feel like this will maybe broaden the question and more about like companies in history. There's a infamous quote from the worst Alien movie, Alien Requiem, where they say, "Oh, Weyland Yutani, that's an old company. It got bought out by Walmart." That is a literal quote from the movie Alien Requiem. I feel like
this is why we don't pay attention to Alien Requiem.
It's not a good movie. But it got me thinking, what company could you actually see going the distance? So we're talking, like, the first question I had was things in the past, like how many companies there were. I don't think we'll ever get a true estimate, because it's like I would have to do research, and then you'd have to do so many studies.
But you're saying, like, flash forward 1,000 years, what companies still exist?
But this is fun hypotheticals, which is our bread and butter, my friend. Right. So, yeah, what company, do you think, like, McDonald's is going to have a franchise on Mars?
Right. I mean, the big answers are like the tech companies, right? Because it feels like they're so forward facing that they have so much money that they wouldn't let themselves get caught flat footed and not be on the cusp of whatever comes next. You'd think, right?
I think Google is pretty up there in terms of that. I think because they already have like a monopoly, but that also like makes me think the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
It's like the Rockefellers were probably thought in their heyday, like, we're going nowhere, baby. Coal forever.
That's going to be Rockefellers constantly rich for the next hundreds of years. And then the next few generations.
The Rockefellers are probably still very wealthy, but they're not forefront of society.
No, they aren't getting buildings named after them anymore.
Right.
But because I think there's... in our modern society, I think it's more and more apparent that businesses are run by people, and people are illogical and weird.
Yeah,
sometimes.
They're fallible. Yeah,
and I think a company, even if it's gigantic, like there's only so many L's you can take before you crumble. So it's like how you have to like constantly be good in order to not get caught. Like it's what's the saying of like. Never mind. I forgot what.
It's kind of like what could you imagine taking down a company like Amazon? Like what L could they take, or series of L's could they take that would be so catastrophic that they would go under? Like it's really hard to imagine.
I think for Amazon, though, I think it would implode. I think they would have too many factories, too many storage facilities, too much stuff that they're doing, and then it all falls apart at some point.
That's how.
But
you also, it's still like.
But also, if they do drones and stuff, then you're cost cutting, and then you're doing other things that it's like, okay, the business is doing very well, but society is doing very poorly because nobody has jobs.
I read an article this week about how somebody gave like one of the branches of ChatGPT the objective to it was like achieve your objective, nothing else matters, achieve it at any cost, and it started like lying and rewriting its own code. And like that kind of shit seems like it could take down a Google, where it's like they give the keys to some AI and it's like, well, I'm rewriting what Google is and it doesn't involve humans.
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely a big thing that could destroy it, which I didn't even write down because I wrote down a couple of things I thought of, because for some reason I thought of Coca-Cola. Like, if our people can be drinking Coca-Cola in the future, and then I had the thought of, like,
for a long time, like
for a very long time, it's been going, and people like the flavor.
People love sugary water. I mean,
it's not like people drink Coca-Cola like literally every day, and they don't care.
I feel like I meet many more Diet Coke personalities than I do just straight up and down Coke.
But I feel like that could be like taste change. Like there's some.
I don't think so.
That, like,
sugar. Human brains are just wired for sugar water.
I think a bigger thing would be, do patents run out? Like, would they eventually get to it, or do they just re-up it?
I think there must be something where it's like if someone patents something like the zipper, like eventually it's got to become, public use or public domain or something.
But I was also thinking that for things like secret recipes, technology will eventually get to the point where you could just like put it into a glass or whatever, and it'll be like, here's the entire composition.
Here's the chemical compound.
Here's the secret recipe. Like. Right. I could see that being a thing. But then if you have a patent on it, I don't think you could like sell it. This is a bigger issue. I
still think there's some degree of like the people who really like Coke, they wouldn't buy a product that is chemically the same as Coke for half the price, right? Like they would just reach for the Coke. Part of it is the advertising. They have the brand name. They have the loyalty.
There's off-brand colas right now.
Like literally if someone handed them another thing that was like, this is literally molecularly identical, people would probably still go for, but I like Coke. Because like you said, like humans are irrational, right?
People can taste the difference between Pepsi. Because I was going to say, there is a competitor. It's called Pepsi. But they aren't like the same.
They're not,
people
they're
constantly.
not exactly the same.
But you know what's not the same? This segment and the next segment that you're going to do.
That's right. That's true. That's true. And this one comes to us from the takeout, stronger and healthier than ever, making huge comeback. Oh, yeah. We've been talking a lot about Oreos this episode already in passing, and it's time to focus laser in. Oreo Loaded review, a delicious harmony of cookie and cream. Have you heard of Oreo Loaded, Will?
No. Is that even bigger? Because I can't deal with that. I went to a fucking candy store, and there is
bigger because I'm part of the Oreos are too damn big party.
The red's too damn high. These Oreos are too damn big. I went to a candy store, and they had a half a pound Reese's peanut butter cup that they sold.
Jesus Christ.
In gigantic packs. You know how they have like the giant Toblerones? It was like that length, but not the like obviously size.
How could I have possibly gained weight? I was just eating half-pound Oreo.
half-pound Reese's cups. I was like, I love Reese's cups. I would get sick from this. But these Oreos are probably I'm going to be shoving it into my mouth, just my entire size of my mouth probably.
So here's the description. Here's the article. Nabisco has done it again. The cookie giant made a new giant cookie, the loaded Oreo. Most Oreo eaters have something to say about which part of the legendary sandwich cookie they prefer. Cream lovers adore the soft, sugary, white center, while those who prefer the wafer live for the gentle chocolate crunch of the two cookies that ensconce that cream. Loaded Oreos blur the binary, featuring a heavy helping of cream flecked with pieces of wafer. This, Will, is an Oreo filled with Oreo cream. They've done it. Mad lads.
What? I do love that. I was getting lost in the description of them being like, yes, the decadent cream within. Some people will call it, a dance between you and your palate. And this is, are you fucking kidding me?
This is it. I sent you the image because it's just, you got to see it to believe it.
Okay. So this is cookies and cream Oreos.
Yeah. They did
cookies
it.
And cream.
They did it. They put the Oreo inside the Oreo. It's cookies and cream. This looks like cream.
I gotta say, these look like Oreos that have black mold. Like they look wrong for some reason.
That's one take. It's not the first time Oreo has done something novel to keep cookie lovers clamoring for more. Since they were invented over 100 years ago, Oreos have come in countless iterations from tame to unbelievable. Cream devotees rejoiced at the release of double stuff Oreos, which gave way to mega stuff, which in turn gave way to most stuff. Each one with more robust helping of that Snow White center cream. But where could the cookie go from there?
Creating the name of a fandom must be the most creatively fulfilling thing that this author's done in a while. Of these cream enthusiasts,
these cream sickos,
this murder of cream heads. Like, what the fuck are they? Oh yeah, all those people who are like going to the store just ripping them off. I gotta get the cream. I had the pumpkin one last week. I think I need the loaded one this week.
I like their vision of how people are on the binary of either you throw away the cookies straight in the trash and you accumulate a pile of cream and that's what you live for, or the cream is the most disgusting thing you've seen your whole life and you instantly tear it from the cookie and you throw it as far away as you can.
And then they can't even conceptualize the idea of just biting into the cookie and getting both the chocolate and cream. No, you can't do that.
No. The answer is the loaded Oreo, which is filled with a mega stuff amount of cream that's blended with pieces of Oreo cookie wafer. This seems to appease both wafer fans and cream enthusiasts looking to bridge the ideological divide between the two camps. The folks over at Nabisco were kind enough to send us a package of loaded Oreos so we could try them out in advance. Now, Will.
Yeah.
This, to me, this is big brain. You know those salad kits that come in the supermarket and they have the nuts and they have the little cranberries and they have a
little sauce packet of dressing. Yeah.
Now all those shaved up Brussels sprouts and whatnot are all the rejects that they wouldn't dare put on shelves, and so they get to repackage those and sell them to you a different way. Big brain.
Yeah.
Is this just that, where they have all these broken cookies lying down on the floor and they think, what can we do? We know, upcharge. Put them in the cookies, charge more.
You know, Theo, I think you're onto something, because the officially given reason is so fucking stupid that I can't even.
They were like
put words to it.
War in the Middle East, we've put cookies in the cream.
What we did was we merged Israel and Palestine. We blended them together.
Them together.
Why would that fix it? Like all they did was, it's like somebody is like, I love mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving. I love the stuffing, and they're like, well, if we put it in the blender and make it just a mush, then they'll both like it the same amount. And it's
what was the king that wanted to cut the baby in half?
Yeah, King Solomon.
Yeah, King Solomon. This is King Solomon. They're King Solomon in this.
King Solomon is running Oreos.
The true hero would say, no, you don't need to do this. I will be willing to concede that cookies deserve their place.
I also, since looking at this, I have a textural question where I feel like the part of the joy to me of the cream is that it's creamy. Like, you lick it off, I'd use my teeth to get it off. It's nice. This feels like it would be gritty. Like, because it has all the chunks in it.
And there's texture to it. I don't know.
There's texture to it.
We're talking a big complaining game. I would murder these, boy. I would.
You know what?
Are you kidding me? Come on.
Hey, Theo, that's also a really good point, because I still have them. I would go, what the fuck you... Like, I think I would grab one, bite into it, and go, what... And they're like, did you have the loaded ones? We got the loaded ones specifically. And I'm like, didn't even notice that it tasted different.
Exactly.
Because it's supposed to be, it's Oreo flavored Oreos.
It's Oreo flavored Oreos. Nabisco will roll out loaded Oreos starting January 3rd, 2025. And these cookies will be available at retailers across the country with a suggested retail price of $5.29 for a packet of 20. These boys are fat. There's only 20 in a package.
Big boys.
These indulgent bites cost just a smidge more than the popular Mega Stuff Oreos, $4.99. I don't know anybody who's just going out to the store and coming home with a thing of Mega Stuff Oreos. Who's doing that?
Oreos.
I mean, I guess we live in America, so people are probably.
My doctor told me I have diabetes, and I don't understand.
You got you got the full stuff Oreo. You got the Ozempic Oreo.
You see, what I do is I lick the cream out, then I replace it with a half-pound Reese's cup. And it'll give me even more.
Loaded Oreos are here for the long haul. No limited edition gimmick this time. Whether you're a dunker, a twister, or a straight-to-the-bite type, these cookies promise to deliver the ultimate stuff-filled satisfaction. To clear some shelf space in your pantry and prepare to treat yourself. So, while the price tag is not exactly slim, it has an extra rich payoff, making loaded Oreos poised to be at the cream of the cookie crop in 2025.
Oh my God, they had to, didn't they? They agree with the crop.
So, how do they taste? We've got a little review here.
Oh, can I take a quick guess? I'm going to call that
like
shot
an
like a big It tastes like a fucking Oreo.
For those of us who lean more wafer than cream in the eternal Oreo debate, the loaded Oreo strikes a delightful middle ground. Of course it does. Though added wafer bits in the cream don't add much in terms of texture, but they subtly balance the sweetness of the cream with just a bit of earthy, chocolatey depth. That said, the loaded Oreo doesn't veer too far from its mega stuffed sibling, with its very similar to the limited edition Most Oreo released in 2023, which was just an absurd amount of stuffing in there. It's just too much.
I had the thought that this feels like a niche of a niche, like user testing gone to hell of the fact that they're like, oh yes, I'm one of the people who likes the wafer cookie. And I'm just like, is that a big enough delineation to not just call yourself an Oreo fan? Like that you're specifically like, no, the cream, nasty. Like you said, like I'm mostly into the cookie
horrible
part. And this really brings it into line. It's like, it seems like it's 2% different. I don't get it. But that's why it's an interesting article. Is I don't get it.
I don't get it. To fully experience the loaded Oreo, I approached my tasting with a methodical strategy. Excuse me. I approached my tasting with a methodical strategy to capture every nuance of its flavor and texture. First, I tried the cookie on its own. This allowed me to get a real sense of the balance between the creme and the wafer, as well as the distinct crunch from the real Oreo bits mixed into the filling. Next, I moved on to the classic Oreo ritual, dunking. I dipped the cookie into cold milk, letting it soak just long enough to soften without falling apart.
Ooh, it's so nice.
As if you're describing something entirely new. We get it. It's good. I will eat one. I might buy them if I see them. Will?
Yeah.
Are you a dunker?
Don't you put me in a box.
You a dunker?
Don't you? I actually do a thing where I will go off and on with just eating the cookie normally, and then I'm a twister. I twist
You're
the
a twister. I'm not a twister. I'm a one-hand Oreo consumer.
And I will use, like I said, I use my teeth to scrape the it comes off in like a puck because it's artificial as fuck. I've had other, like Trader Joe's has the JoJo's, which I like more, honestly. But that's more an actual cream as opposed to like the puck that comes off all at once.
My preferred eating methodology is to load the Oreo into a Beyblade let it rip action spinner. And I do let it rip right on my tongue. And the movement of the Oreo across my tongue is actually really is exciting to me.
Oh, that's interesting. I actually take all the fillings and I roll them into a big ball.
Yeah,
and then I take that ball and I take it like a Katamari, and then I
bring it down to
the street.
I bring it down to Fenway Park and I do the opening pitch of the game with it. And then the catcher's glove is stuck shut because I can't reopen it.
The catcher gets the back and he goes, "That didn't feel right." Like when he farted.
Why did it splooge on my glove?
Uh-oh. This is too runny. I don't like it.
Well, Will, I hope your next segment doesn't involve more baseball content.
It doesn't, because this is in the news. British edition.
There you go. Here comes the I almost just said the Queen. That would have been a real 2023 thing of me to do.
Although this first story is about the Queen.
Oh.
I'm just going to read the headline because this is one that I thought was going to be way more interesting because of the headline, and then it was like a normal reason. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. This is from Newsweek. This Queen Elizabeth II did bath time in her crown, Charles reveals.
Which in
my head, I was like, oh, she's in a big bath. Like
I'm the
with
queen
the crown
of
on.
the bath. Every rubber duck must listen to me. I make the rules.
Hong Kong rubber ducky, I'm the sovereign. But in reality, it's just because one of her crowns is like a 5-pound, like big, heavy metal one. And so she wore it to the children's bath time and like, while like other people I think were watching the kids, and she was like, well, I gotta practice having it on. And I was like, okay.
Why does the queen need to inspect how I bathe my child? That's the epitome of big government. Get the hell out of here, queen.
It's her child. The prince is her child.
That's what that would have been what I had said if I was the queen's child. I would have said, "But out, mom, this is big government."
Well, about us. I mean, that's what us. If you've watched,
Mom, I'm a bit of a libertarian.
What do you think about that? I've turned into an anarchist. But the second one made me actually. This follows through with the title. This is from joe.co.uk, which Joe is a fucking interesting name for a news website. But this is, when is this from? From very recently, I think. But, October 11th, 2024. There we go. King Charles did not know what cling film was and, quote, shrieked the first time you saw it.
This is very good. He doesn't know what plastic wrap is. He's out of touch.
So this has a little bit more meat on its bones than you think. But it starts with an all bold, we've all been there.
Uh-huh.
No, we haven't.
We've all been there. No. Hey,
no.
It doesn't matter. I'm going in with an attitude of I've been there.
Sure, you're just sucking up to the royalty. King Charles
180. I'm no longer a libertarian, Mom. I'm actually really into big government.
Royalist. I'm a royalist. King Charles III had no idea what cling film was and shrieked when the first time he saw it. An author has claimed an unauthorized biography which detailed a selection of interesting stories about our new monarch. Author Tim Bauer. Yeah,
this is unauthorized. Who's writing this?
Oh, me, Tim Bauer. Let me just be in the fucking
gallows.
Why not? But he said he interviewed over 120 people for his biography of Charles, entitled "Rebel Prince," which I guess so. Because he did famously. He was the one that was married to Diana, and then he got a divorce, which is a big no-no. And then he he shacked up with his mistress Camilla.
What a rebel!
Yeah, well, rebel. He's also just like a whiny, spoiled brat, which they will get into. The book delves into Charles' struggles to overcome unpopularity and includes some pretty unexpected tales along the way. Explaining how the royal reportedly had his first encounter with cling film, Bauer wrote, quote, "He walked into the dining room and shrieked. Fearing the worst, Camilla dashed in after him. 'What's this?' he asked her husband, pointing at the food. 'It's cling film, darling,' she replied." And this isn't that's
darling
the end of the
in this
interaction.
case. This darling in this case is extremely coded as "you fucking moron."
Disappointed, in parentheses. And this isn't the last of the bizarre revelations the author claims to make about our new king. Alleged behaviors included working until midnight and changing his clothes up to 4 times a day. Which the latter of which is weird. Working up to midnight, I've done, I don't know, every college student's fucking done that. But changing, of course, clothes up to 4 times a day.
Yeah, you're a royal. Normally, you gotta look fresh. If I was a royal and somebody put out my clothes, I gotta say one of my least favorite things in life is putting away my own clothes at the end of the day, because I just gotta fold them up and put them back in the drawer. I hate that.
Just give me new ones. If I sweat a little bit, then it's ruined.
Throw them out and get me new clothes.
Constantly sweating, so it's terrible. Bauer also claims that Charles is obsessed with public opinion, and that one time he hurled a dinner plate to the floor at a dinner party after learning about his low popularity ratings, which brought them even lower.
This'll get him.
Our current king is also addicted to luxury, the author claimed. He alleged that Charles took a almost 19,000 pound journey via royal train from Highgrove to Penrith, according to, simply to visit a pub. He went
but who hasn't taken their royal train down to the pub?
19,000.
How did you get here?
So the prince also reportedly complained about not traveling first class to Hong Kong, and allegedly wrote in his journal, "It took me time to realize that this was not first class, although it puzzled me as to why the seat seemed so uncomfortable. Such is the end of the empire," I sighed to myself.
Oh my god. This is the end of the empire.
I was like, what a fucking quote. The fact that wasn't the title of this article is "Such is the end of the empire," I sighed to myself, is so fucking funny to me. That he's like, this is the sign? Like, not the fact that they lost like all of their lands? Like, what the fuck are you talking? Oh, what do you mean America is not a colony? What? Bauer, who described himself as a committed monarchist, concluded that Charles' legacy has been, quote, tarnished by his addiction to luxury, his financial mismanagement, his disloyalty to professional supporters, and the torrid relationships with his family. And when it comes to being king, the author said he worried Charles will act alone without any restraining advisor. He added, for committed monarchists, that independence is alarming. They can only hope for the best. Which sounds like somebody talking about freaking Trump right now. Hopefully, we don't want to give him too much power, but let's give him ultimate power. Like, it feels weird for a monarchist to be like, hold on, let's not get too independent.
Let's not get too independent. Don't go crazy and fly off the handle.
I think that's the whole point of it. But I have one last article for you, and this one it has less meat on its bone than I was initially, which I guess is the theme of this. This has less on its bone, but it's still, it's so good. From CNN World, Magic Society launches hunt for first female member, expelled for posing as a man.
Huh? Magic Society?
That's, okay, that was the first thing that I got into, is I was like, oh my god, this is a secret magical society. It's like the fucking Rosicrucians or something, like the Order of the Solar Temple. Hell
That's
yeah,
very
brother.
well coded, yeah.
It's a magician society.
Oh, so it's sort of more of a don't sell our secrets kind of organization, but only because...
The fact that they call it like, they're not wrong that it's a magic society, but call it a magician society, because that makes so much more sense.
It's really punching
so
up.
long. Yeah, because I went on their Wikipedia page. I went to their
You were so ready
website.
to get all in on this.
And on their official website, they have aspiring magicians wanted. If you are under 18 and want to learn magic and meet other young magicians, then find out how to join the Young Magicians Club.
Daddy, I was perusing the internet and found the Magic Society. I don't want to be a banker anymore.
I want to do magic now. But let's get into this. Deception, disguise, and finally a disappearance. This might sound like the premise of a magic trick, but it's actually the story of a woman who managed to fool a male-only, world-famous magic society into admitting her, before being unceremoniously kicked out when she revealed her true identity. Now,
how did you trick us?
Want her back.
How did you disguise yourself? Well, I never revealed my secrets, would I?
Oh, fuck! Tell us, though!
I have to respect that.
That is the irony at the center of the story, is a bunch of magicians getting butthurt about being tricked. It's so crazy. But I guess
the irony here.
That's just human nature, though. I get, like, people like getting other people, but they don't like getting got. I think it's the main thing.
Frankly, gotta learn to get got.
Sophie Lloyd, an actress, was persuaded by her friend, a magician called Jenny Winstanley, in the late 1980s to apply to the Magic Circle. Winstanley didn't think she would get away with playing the role of a man, so she enlisted Lloyd's help. The Magic Circle's chairwoman, Laura London, told CNN on Tuesday, which I gotta love that the chairwoman's name is London and they're British.
Very good.
Hi, I'm George Washington, D.C. The woman trained for 18 months in magic, as well as how to act, dress, and sound like a man, London said, adding that the orchestrated deception was so brilliantly put together, almost like a heist. The Magic Circle's purpose is to promote and advance the art of magic, according to its website. Magicians have to prove their skill to be admitted, must promise to abide by the society's Latin motto, Indolius Pravite Loqui, not apt to disclose secrets.
It means, don't tell our shit to the kids.
Lloyd, who was in her 20s at the time, managed to fool the organization into accepting her in 1990, when she disguised herself as a man named Raymond Lloyd, London said. Lloyd passed the entrance exam, which, by the way, there's a fucking entrance exam, which...
I mean, there's gotta be some standards. Thus falls the empire.
That's such
as the empire fire, yes.
But I did look into their, like, how they, I thought the Wikipedia page was going to have a little bit more meat on its bone. But they, which I've said multiple times for this particular article, but it's true for the, like, because you have to be introduced by 2 current members. Like, you have to have a letter of recommendation. Okay. Yeah, right. You got to be nominated. Then you got to be apprenticed for a year, and then you got to pass a test, which is doing a magic trick.
You have to be willing to be sawed in half at least 3 times.
Yeah, and not a single drop of blood should come from you. So she passed the entrance exam, which required her to perform tricks in front of members of the society, and started as an apprentice before becoming a full member in March 1991. A campaign to admit women into the all-male society became successful in October that year, and it was after this vote that Lloyd revealed her true self. Quote, she thought the society would find it funny, I suppose, but they actually were really angry.
Yeah,
London
they
said,
probably were. They were probably angry about being tricked because they don't like being tricked because they're magicians.
London said, adding that the magic circle kicked her out. Lloyd continued to do magic, using it to show...
You can't stop my magic!
I'm going to do it anyway!
Stop my magic!
Using it to using it in a show to educate young people about bullying, London said. However, it has been difficult to find her since. Quote, I'd like to sit down and have a chat with her and see what happened to her, London said. I have a feeling that she would be very hurt by this, and I really hope that it didn't affect her ability to continue in the entertainment industry. I hope it didn't dishearten her. London added that she would like to say thank you to Lloyd, adding that the Magic Circle would all like to apologize, but what we would love to do is invite her back. But this leads to a search for her. London said it came to light that Sophie was not the magician's birth name, but a professional or stage name. While they do not know her true surname, London said that they believe her first name was Sue, which she said has been confirmed by Winstanley's son and a friend of the family. London told the BBC that Winstanley had sadly died. Quote, she's just the most extraordinary woman to be brave to do that, and I and many of us women in the industry are just finding this so courageous for these two to go about deliberately proving that women can do it as good as men. The society now has more than 80 female members, according to its website, although this makes up about 5% of its cohort of more than 1,700 members.
That's a lot of members.
That's a lot of members. Quote, we really do hope that Sophie can be found so that we can welcome her back into our society. Marvin Burglas, president of the Magic Circle, told CNN in a statement on Tuesday. Over 30 years ago, our predecessors made it, in my opinion, a faux pas when they ejected her for deception, and that irony is not lost on us about a magician deceiving someone. He continued.
Good. I'm glad that they're self-aware enough about that.
Yeah. But it's also, I when reading this, now I'm realizing that that they're talking about two people in the second part. There is Winstanley, who is the magician behind the actress, that was like actually pretending to be the guy. So I like being a man. And so I thought that the woman who is the actress died, but it is actually the magician that died.
Oh, I see.
So I guess that other woman is still out there, but they didn't really go into that. But do you know what I really want to go into? Your next segment.
Well, to get to my next segment, you're going to have to take a trip down the stairs into the dark.
Oh, no.
And then you're going to have to...
Uh-oh.
Wake up, Will. Time to wake up.
I've
run out of cold water to splash on you, but you know, you do just fine.
What the fuck is that? What's that on that bowl?
That's a 2-pound Reese's cup that I was just about to dig into.
Oh my God! That's the most terrifying thing of all. And that plastic stuff on top is that cling film.
Oh no! Horrible stuff. Horrible.
I
like my Reese's cups fresh, never frozen. You know, so I don't have to mess with that kind of stuff.
Ooh, I just had the thought frozen Reese's cups could be okay.
Well, ice cream, Reese's ice cream, very good.
Yeah, I love
this,
that.
of course. Welcome to the taxidermy shop. It's time for you, Will, to listen to my array of wonderful in-stock now items that you can purchase.
Always in stock.
It's always
fresh, never frozen.
Always fresh, never frozen. Especially like this first one, Taxidermy Little Red Riding Hood Rat, Real Rat Taxidermy Oddities Doll.
Oh, great, because I was worried it was a fake rat.
Oh, it might have been better if it was a fake rat, wouldn't it? But
yeah,
no,
probably.
This one's real rat. This one's real
okay.
rat.
This has a sense of humor. I kind of like that.
It does. It's got some stuff going on. Please describe the doll for us, William.
Okay, but I did click on it and I immediately started seeing the imperfections of the taxidermy, which we'll get to.
Don't look too close.
This is a white mouse that is wearing a nice little dress that has strawberries on it, and then obviously the Red Riding Hood cloak with the basket. But she also has a head in the other arm of a wolf. Which implies that she decapitated the wolf.
Do you also like the little tiny rat feet sticking out from the bottom?
The little rat feet. I also like the little rat smile that they find.
Little rat smile. It's a nice touch.
It is imagine the smiley face, like that smile on a mouse. It is, it's unsettling. I don't like it.
Here's the description from the seller. Taxidermy, Little Red Riding Rat, real rat, taxidermy, oddities, doll, holding decapitated wolf head, oak, anthropomorphic horror fairy tale doll. Taxidermy doll, available now. Little Red Riding Rat, going for a stroll through the forest after vanquishing her enemy. This is a vintage doll outfit, complete with red velvet cloak. I gave her a treats basket in one hand, but she is carrying the decapitated head of her eternal mortal enemy, the big bad wolf. The body of the doll...
No longer harangue me, wolf. You shall not threaten my family.
You, my eternal enemy, boy fighter.
And the wolf is like still alive. He's like, yeah, I'm eternal.
Yeah.
I am eternal. I'm a perpetual. I will keep going for you.
The body of the doll is the original piece that came with the outfit. I replaced her head, hands, and feet with rat parts, and added a tail, of course. The wolf's head is a 3D printed and hand-painted by me. She is carrying it as a trophy to remind other fairy tale villains not to mess with her. She is self-standing and she comes with her own metal doll stand. She's about 9 inches tall and her cape extends to be about 9 inches wide at its widest part. Cape is removable. All right, William, please name your price.
Well, first I want to say that I do feel like this taxidermy is just not for me because I looked at that wolf's head and that is 3D printed and nicely painted. And I had the thought, why not just make that the full figure? And then I realized that's an action figure. I love action figures.
We love action figures, and that would be too simple.
Don't love fleshy, previously alive action figures. That's where I draw.
What are you talking about? It's the best kind. Everyone loves this.
But for the price, I'm going to say $120.
This one is coming in at a cool $150. You're pretty close.
Not bad.
Pretty close.
Less off than I normally am.
All right, I've got another one for you today. This is number 2 of 3. We got to run through all 3. You know the rules here on the Taxidermy Shop. This is called Squirrel Taxidermy, Minoan Snake Goddess, Athena, Ishtar, Ariadne, Greek mythology.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
That's what it is.
Well, you know what? It does look like the worst street performance I've ever seen. Or the best one.
Please describe what you're seeing, William.
Did they say, I was laughing, it's a squirrel, right? It looks like a squirrel.
Or is it? It's a squirrel.
It's a squirrel. He's holding his arms out. In both of his hands are snakes, little plastic snakes. One is green, one is yellow. He has a red velvet beret on, a sash with no, same red velvet sash with no shirt on, and then like kind of Arabic, like pants, like a belt and stuff with a kind of loincloth-ish. And then he has like bracelets and like wrist or like anklets that are like chains or circlets,
he looks like he might fit in very nicely in a furry performance of Aladdin.
Yeah, but it's I love that they're like, this is obviously the god of whatever.
Yes, so here's the item description from the seller. Meet the mysterious Minoan snake goddess, discovered at a Cretan archaeological site and dated about 1600 BCE, likely dating before the Greek mythology that we're familiar with today. We don't really know what goddess she depicts, or if she's even a goddess, but she is sometimes associated with various cool ladies of ancient times, like Athena, Ariadne, Astarte, and Ishtar. Even if we don't exactly know what her deal is, it's clear that she's a woman who's in control. Perhaps she's a witch.
Deal? Oh,
I mean that in a cool way, of course. Witch is a powerful woman who use book learning and items found in their environment to affect change around them. All the more meaningful is that the Minoan snake goddess is a squirrel. Squirrels are prey animals, and for prey animals, fear is their constant emotion. Not this prey animal, though. Snakes are well known to predators of rodents, but this rodent has no fear. The squirrel is handmade, so are all her clothes and her little hat. The Minoan snake goddess figurine replica is just for reference and is not included.
I'm also, I mean, as long as the snakes aren't bigger than her, as long as she can just hold 2 of them and outstretched arms, then she's not afraid of snakes.
Make the snakes kiss. Now you kiss.
This is I love when people have like the Dunning-Kruger effect, but for history, which people don't know, like the more you know, like if you know a little bit about a subject, you think you know a lot, and then the more you know, the more you figure out that you don't know.
Right.
I love when people are like, we don't know what the Greeks were, or like,
We don't know what they're up to. It's a mystery.
It's like at least what we think the Greeks were doing, and it's getting so close to ancient aliens. Like, it's like, actually, we know a lot about what the Greeks were doing.
Maybe she's a witch in ancient Greece. Who knows?
Your personal ignorance is not a reason to not, like, there is history. Also, when they know so much about something so specific, like these goddesses, which are they real? Are they fake? Like, are they making this up?
Are they fake? Who knows? Who's to say?
If they're making it up, it's fun. But if it's real, it feels weird. If that, like, that they would get so deep into it, but also seem like a dumb idiot.
You know what I know? I know that 27 people have viewed this post in the last 24 hours, so you gotta act fast, Will, and name your price.
Okay. $2.25.
This one is coming in at $1.99. You're so close.
What?
You're right there.
Yeah, that's actually pretty close.
There.
They're so expensive every single time.
One last one, and we're gonna stick with the religious themes here, and we're really not gonna be subtle about it this time.
Wow.
This one is entitled "Crucifix with Taxidermy Mouse Head, Handmade Pre-Sale Metallic Crucifix." All right, Will, please describe for the people what you're cackling about.
The easiest description I'm ever going to have to do this for this fucking show. It is a crucifix with not just any Jesus, but the 6-pack, 8-pack. I counted them all.
8-pack gold Jesus.
8-pack golden Jesus, except he's been decapitated and his head has been replaced with a mouse's head.
With a mouse's head.
Which I'm going to say the mouse has the expression of like, gold? When are they going to come and gut me out?
What were my sins that I died for?
Oh, what's the guy that betrayed him in the Bible? He's looking at his friend with those beady eyes.
He's a Lucifer.
Oh, man.
This is a handmade resin cast cross with a real taxidermy mouse head. It is in the style of a traditional Catholic iconography. Yeah, you don't say. You don't say, really? Because that was the starting point. The crucifix is hand painted in various shades of metallic paints with a primary bronze luster. I am making each cross by hand from a mold, sanding, priming, painting, and sealing, so the finish is durable and high quality. There's a loop screwed on the top for hanging hardware, in case you want it to hang next to your bedside or somewhere where it can protect you, whatever.
Me?
Yeah.
From what? Mouse Satan?
From Mouse Satan. The mouse head was mounted using traditional taxidermy, so it will last a lifetime. The ones pictured here are sold. So the one you order order from me will be a new one I'll make for you. Or if you've already got a pre-made one in stock, I'll ship that one out. It takes less than a week for me to make one if I'm totally sold out, so the ship time won't be too bad.
It takes a week to make that?
Well, these are high quality items.
Oh, you don't understand. I've been painting this crucifix. I've been staining it. I've been decapitating all these dead mice I catch in my glue traps.
Well, come on. This is protecting you both from mouse vampires and mouse devil. You have to pay big money for it.
Constant, binocular base.
Come on.
Yeah.
This is high quality stuff that really protects you from evil.
I'm not going to say it's that high quality because I'm going to say it's $100. I'm going right to it.
So close, William. You really got your finger on the pulse. This is $95. This is
$95?
affordable.
I could have made you buy it.
Protection from evil.
Affordable protection. If somebody pulled this out from their purse or something, and they're just like, "Power of Christ compel you," and it's I'm sorry. Is that a mouse head on that cross? Oh yes, it's my favorite.
A hilarious prank would be to be on the subway and be fumbling with your bag and have it accidentally fall out of your bag and be like, what? Oh, you were supposed to see that.
Oh, the spaghetti fell out of my bag.
No. Well, Will, you were so close. You're in the ballpark. You truly know the market. And, sometimes
I don't want to know
the best people in the market become players in the market. They start being creators. So maybe something to think about for next time. But for now, fall asleep. Goodbye. All right, well, on to your. I hope your next segment has even more I hope it has even less snoring in it.
Oh, I've gotten up and I'm feeling romantical.
Romantical.
I'm feeling all romantical now.
He's gonna invite me to a sleepover.
Oh, you know it. Because, baby, we're now here in Amazon Erotica. You know it. You love it. These are all individual books that I have found for you today. For people who don't know, Amazon Erotica is when I go to the bestsellers for erotica on the website Amazon. I read you the description. This is not kink shaming people. This is bad writing shaming people. I have thought about that.
Bad on the AI that wrote this. Very bad.
Very bad.
You did bad.
But let's get... A lot of these are very fucking short, so we'll just get right into them. Forever My Hitter, Pharaoh and Bella. This one
Bella, is she a reoccurring character? Because Bella really sounds like a familiar name.
There's just so many Bellas.
Isn't Bella the name of the character in Twilight?
Yeah, but this is not the same Bella. For 11 years, Bella and Pharaoh have been secretly in love. Unfortunately, their relationship has consistently encountered insurmountable obstacles.
Namely, the tunnel maze that it takes to get into his place. Babe, I'm so tired of having to solve the puzzle of finding your tomb every time I want to hang out, babe.
Honey, why can't you come to my place? Well, you know I don't have a car.
I'm ancient Egyptian. I don't know how to drive, babe.
But this ultimately led to their separation. Bella pursues a life as a sensational superstar singer, reveling in the spotlight and the adoration of her fans. Pharaoh, on the other hand, leads a dangerous life as a hitman.
Of course he does.
His existence cloaked in shadow. Could you imagine if Taylor Swift, if it was revealed that she was dating a fucking hitman, or she was dating the dude that killed the United Healthcare CEO? Like she was in a relationship with him. It was like, ooh, this is getting serious
plot twist
right now. When Bella's tour concludes one day, she takes a leap of faith and shows up on Pharaoh's doorstep, determined to claim her man and work through their issues once and for all. However, the stark differences in their lifestyle and the lingering wrath of her uncle continue to loom, threatening to keep them apart.
Lingering wrath of her uncle? Is her uncle a magical evil sorcerer? Like, what is he doing?
Yes, you can't do this. You did one of your wishes to become a super sensational superstar singer.
And now it's me, Jafar, come to stop you.
Yes! I also imagine the way that they leave this off is like that scene in John Wick after he kills all the bad guys in his house and the cop comes to his door and he opens up and he's like, so you working again, John? He sees all the bodies in the background. Like he opens the door and she's like, we gotta deal with all of our issues, and there's just like
problems, babe.
like blood everywhere. He's like, I'm doing work right now. But that was that one. So let's go on to More Than a Crush. This one has so many different names in such a short time frame.
All right, we got to track them all. We got to get the red yarn out.
Lyric's husband, Griff. We're already into two.
Lyric and Griff. Those are easy to remember.
We're literally 3 sentences. Lyric and Griff has a wandering eye, and she knows it. He knows he's now taken things to a new height, as he suggests that he should be given a hall pass. The only problem is that Griff wants pass to be with his best friend's shooter's girl. That's
I swear to God we've heard this one before, because Shooter is a name that is printed on my memory. There's no way I haven't heard Shooter. Because I think I made the same joke, which was, Griff, I swear to God your name is Griff. How are you asking for a hall pass? Your name is Griff.
We have done this one. That's so specific. But needing a little incentive, Griff offers to swap out with Shooter and get a mere taste of Nay. Unfortunately for Griff, when he believes to be a one-night stand of pleasure quickly transforms into a life filled with pain. That's also the one.
I swear to God I've heard this one before.
Well, we'll have to see if you've heard these last two. My Stalker, My Protector, by Jessa Kane, no relation to me. College freshman Scout Snyder has a deranged stalker. Her brother is going out of town and needs someone big and strong to protect her while he's gone. And there's no other choice.
That's not a normal thing. No. That's not normal. Don't act like that's a normal thing to say.
Nobody's ever, like, you've never been like, beep, boop, boop, boop. hey, Will, can you actually come over and hang out with Laura because she's just like a little weak girl.
There's no app that's like, you have your trusted dog sitters app and your trusted
Girlfriend?
hunky boys that watch your girlfriend while you're away app. No, that's not a thing.
What's that moving company that's like hunky college boys?
Oh, like college boys with a van or something.
Yeah, you get
college
that.
hunks.
Like, oh, okay, we just gotta stand here. That's so much better than moving stuff. There's no better choice than his best friend, campus baseball star Cash Jenner. Unless your name is Johnny Cash, your first name should not be Cash.
Jenner? Wow.
Yeah. There's only one problem. Cash is Scout Stalker, and she's just been thrown to the wolf.
He loves baseball and stalking, and the two things they have in common are ground roll doubles.
Love. And this last one is by Jenica Snow, and it starts with the most fucking unhinged way. That for all of these, I always have the thing in the back of my head of like, who's really interested in this? Like, what is this really? Because all of these always have like danger, and I know it's fantasy and stuff, but it's always like taken by the mountain man, and I'm like, that's terrifying. Like, what do you want? Why do you want that? And this is one that I'm like, this is a romantic fantasy, and it has to be because the title of it is called Just the Tip, a Forbidden Romance.
Yeah, that's forbidden. Okay.
It starts with, he broke into my house, watched me sleep. What?
Okay. Call
breaking and entering a crime?
All right.
He was dressed in black and wore a mask, telling me I could run, but he'd catch me. I knew he only wanted one thing, and he wouldn't leave until he got it. To use me. It was just the tip of his tongue on my body. So the getting around the Amazon censors that way.
Yep, they got him.
His weapon at my throat. It was just a tip of sweetness and fear that held me close and refused to let me go. I was frightened to the lengths he'd go and how close he'd take me to the edge. What, murdering you? Yeah,
murdering
the edge
you?
was,
not good.
The edge of his knife slitting your throat. I didn't know if he'd throw me over or embrace me in the darkness. All I could do was surrender. It was bittersweet in an encounter I didn't know if I'd live to see the end of. Who's this for?
Who is this for? I don't understand this fantasy, but hey, who am I to judge?
People, it obviously is very. I mean, it's 3.8 stars, so it's
listen.
Okay.
You don't question my banana pudding thing, and I won't question yours. Okay?
It has 1,500 reviews, so it's obviously
people are buying this.
They're buying it, and you know what? I hope that people will buy up. That we're at the end of this. Stock.
Okay, yeah, stock of Segment City. Buy it. Buy. Never sell. So straight to the moon.
But hopefully that you'll buy this transition out of the podcast. And when I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Segment City. Remember, if you have any segments that you want to send to us, send it to segmentcitypodcast@gmail.com. If you liked the episode, leave us star ratings and reviews on your favorite podcast network of choice. And as a personal shout out of my socials, hit up my Blue Sky, which I've actually gone into. It's a nicer community than Twitter. So I'm Golly G. Williker on Blue Sky, and my YouTube, where I have full video essays for reviews of movies and games and fun history stories, is Golly G. Willikers. So look that up, give it a view, and also we have a big thank you to somebody in particular.
And that thank you would be to Rachel Robinson. She does our intro music, and she has amazing music you can find on your streaming platform of choice. And some say that she is the child of the God of rats and the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Glory to be to the rat God. Amen.
Man,
some
this
say.
incense.
Just some say.
This incense smells like cheese. Why is that?
This is crazy.
Yeah. Yucky. But now we're going to iwaspoisoned.com, a place that many mice have probably died. It's these restaurants.
In the streets of the Taco Bell in the back alley.
But this is where people post where they get food poisoned on a website. So we're going to hit them up and this is Chick-fil-A in Houston, Texas. It happened last Saturday night.
It happened last Saturday night. I was with the dame before she really put me over the edge.
My family and I went to Chick-fil-A, and my husband and I ate a deluxe chicken sandwich after arriving home.
Deluxe.
We started to feel severe stomach pain that turned into diarrhea. Then we suffered dizziness and chills. It's a very bad stomach pain that started yesterday after arriving from eating Chick-fil-A, then turned into diarrhea all night. I couldn't sleep from stomach pain. It's Sunday morning and it's still the same.
I love that you started sounding a bit like a preacher. And I was filled with the stomach pain, and the Lord sent me down to the Chick-fil-A, and he said to me, you will suffer on the toilet.
You will fill that toilet with God's love. It's all one sentence, by the way. There's no punctuation.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.